Fox Sports.
It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night to you, wherever you may be. Game 3 of the 4-game series. They've each won one of the previous two. Last year, the Braves won 4 of 7, and they will play 4 games later on this year when the Dodgers go to Atlanta. Tonight, it'll be Tommy Hanson going up against Chad Billingsley. Billingsley 6-2 with a 4-game winning streak. Tommy Hanson has a record of 5-3. For Atlanta, a lot on the line. They're 2 games in front of Philadelphia, and for the Dodgers, they are just a half a game behind the San Diego Padres. Phillies and San Diego are battling it out. We ought to have a final score on that to add to the spice to the game. We'll get to that ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this.
Pursuing perfection. You want clutch hitting? Dodgers needed it, and they got it last night.
Yeah, James Loney off the left-hander O'Flaherty last night, too. Right after the Braves put a 2-spot up there to tie this ball game, Loney comes up in the 8th, drives one home, and that would be end of story.
So the Dodgers have been beaten up on some of the teams that they need to beat on, but in a series against the Atlanta Braves, important to take this one against a really good team.
Yeah, the Braves had won 9 in a row. The Dodgers had won 8 in a row. Both hot teams. Someone had to give. The Dodgers have been beaten up on teams like Arizona and Houston. You're supposed to beat those teams. Whoever can jump up and win the next 2 games of this series will be the team that can say, hey, we blasted you guys. Everyone was hot. We were the ones that came out on top.
And Dodgers have the pitcher on the hill that they want to see going out there. Chad Billingsley, 6-2, and he's won 4 in a row. And he's saying to his bullpen, don't
Give me
worry.
some of that.
Yeah, I got you covered. When we come back, it's first pitch right here on Prime Ticket. Vince Scully has the call.
Hyundai dealers. Want more MPG? Hyundai has it. By Shakey's. This player has the highest lifetime batting average of .367. Go to Shakey's.com/trivia. By AT&T. TV, high-speed internet, home phone, and wireless. Visit att.com or call 1-800-PIC-ATT for details. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Saturday night, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium on a beautiful evening. It'll be the Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 3 of the 4-game series. They split the previous 2, and tonight, a very important game for the Dodgers because in Philadelphia, Jamie Moyer pitched a complete game victory against the San Diego Padres. The Phillies beat the Padres 6-2, and so the veteran left-hander, 47 years old, Jamie Moyer, pitches a gem, so the Dodgers have a shot at first place by a half a game. They actually take the field tied. Meanwhile, since Philadelphia won, there's a little extra pressure on the Atlanta Braves. The Braves began the day 2 games in front of Philadelphia. They were leading by 3, and then Bobby Cox Ball Club went down last night. By the way, in talking about Bobby Cox Club, you know, this year they had a 9-game losing streak and then a 9-game winning streak. You have to go back to 1982 to find a team that a +9 and a -9, and it was the Atlanta Braves. Here's their lineup tonight. Martin Prado at second base, and Omar Infante at third. Jason Hayward in right field, and Brian McCann returns behind the plate. Troy Gloss at first, Eric Hinsky in left. Yunel Escobar will be the shortstop. Nate McLeod in center. Tommy Hansen on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers would be Chad Billingsley with a record of 6-2. He has a 4-game winning streak, although he is 1-2 lifetime against the Atlanta Braves. The Dodgers have won 5 straight Billingsley starts. Prior to that stretch, The Dodgers had won just 3 of the last 13 Billingsley starts, going back to August of 2009. In fact, during that stretch, personally, Billingsley was 2-7. So things have turned around for him, and now he's ready to go in the first inning of tonight's game. For the Atlanta Braves, they have an all-star second baseman with a 9-game hitting streak and a league-leading .321 batting average. And we're talking about Martin Prado. Prado had 1 hit last night, and he had a double in the first game, hitting the first pitch for the double. So Billingsley has to be ready as he goes to his windup. And the pitch to Martin, a check swing as he falls away from the plate, but it's a strike, and the count 0-1. So the Dodgers and the Braves on 3 of 4. Tomorrow afternoon, the concluding game, and that'll be Tim Hudson, who is 6-1 against John Eli, 3-2. Billingsley back with a fastball knee-high inside corner for a strike, and the count 0-2. What a splendid evening. It's 74 degrees. The beautiful summer's evening. No June gloom, although we do have haze. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way. Prado swings and lifts it around the mound. So a team photo, and it will be Loney making the catch. So Prado pops it up, and just like that, 1 away. Since we had them together, let's look at the Dodgers with the leather. Ramirez, Kemp, and Detier. Carroll, Furcal, DeWitt, and Loney on the infield. Billingsley and Martin the battery. So 1 away. And the batter now, Omar Infante, hitting .300. He has 1 home run and 11 runs batted in. Infante, right-hand batter. And Billingsley into the windup, delivers, and Omar takes the strike, and the count 0-1. Infante hitting .338 against right-hand pitching. Left-handers have him tied up in the 220s. So Infante at the plate. On deck, Jason Hayward. Strike 1 pitch inside. Infante moves back, and we have a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Just the beginning. Prado has popped up, 1 away. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Billingsley ready, delivers, drops a breaking ball low, 2-1 the count. For the Braves, they're in the middle of 20 consecutive games without a day off, 14 of the 20 on the road. After they're finished here tomorrow, they have 4 in Arizona and 3 in Minnesota. 2-1 pitch fouled away, 2-2. For Bobby Cox Club, and talking to Bobby about the next time the Dodgers play the Braves, Bobby said, yeah, we have a 4-game series with the Dodgers in August. August in Atlanta. He said it'll be awfully hot, but our guys ought to be accustomed to it by then. Now the 2-2 pitch coming up to Infante. Breaking ball, got him looking. So Infante frozen on the curveball, and down he goes. So with a strikeout preceding him, here comes young Jason Hayward, who had quite a night. The 20-year-old struck out for the final out of the game, struck out 5 times to tie a record for a 9-inning game, but he has a lot of company. It's been done 55 times by 54 different players. He bounces one foul outside of first down the line, and the count 0-1. Andrew Jones, by the way, back in 2007, struck out 5 times for the Braves in a 9-inning game against Boston. Here's the strike 1 pitch to Jason. Big guy takes a look, and it's low. Hayward is still doing well. He's hitting .274. He has 10 home runs, 38 runs batted in. And he's hitting .271 against lefties, .276 against righties. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Jason swings, lifts it into shallow grass back of second base, and Blake DeWitt goes out to make the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning for Chad Billingsley. And at the end of half an inning, Braves nothing, Dodgers coming up. a look at the Dodger lineup, it will be Furcal, followed by Kemp and then Ethier, Ramirez, Loney, and Martin. Carroll dropped to the 7th slot with DeWitt hitting 8 and Chad Billingsley on the mound. On the mound for the Braves, big Tommy Hanson. He is 6'6", 215-pounder, 23 years old. He'll be 24 the end of August. Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but lives in Redlands. And the right hand is first pitch to Rafael Furcal, in for a strike. Hanson has been sensational on the road. His earned run average on the road is 2.03. Strike one pitch on the way, and Furcal grounds it foul, skips up into the seats, and the count 0-2. Rafael hitting 281, 11 runs batted in, and of course a far better hitter, hitting left-handed. He's batting 309 from this side of the plate. Hanson holds the ball at his chest as he looks in to get a sign. Now ready and comes back high with a fastball at 91. 1-2 to count. Tommy went to Riverside Community College, and his name is Thomas J. Hanson. Here's the 1-2 pitch way outside. The J is only the letter J. It stands, we understand, for all the people in his grandmother's life whose names started with J, like Uncle Jesse, etc. So it's not specific, it's just J. And the pitch to Furcal fouled away. Tommy has been pitching professionally since 2006. Came up to the Braves last year and was 11-4. Right now he is 5-3, 3-1 on the road. He has a little 2-game winning streak, and his 2-2 pitch to Furcal is taken outside, ball 3. One thing about Hanson, at 6'6", a lot of moving parts, and he leads the league in hit batsmen. He's hit 5. Hanson working on Furcal, and the 3-2 pitch on the way. Rafael swings, skies it foul off third, down the line and out of play. In looking closely at Tommy Hanson and how he pitches, for whatever reason, he struggles in the second inning. But as the game goes along, his earned run average gets better and better and better. ERA in the second inning is almost 11. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Furcal. Line drive, base hit into right field. So Rafael Furcal, line drive single to right. And the batter now will be Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp takes a good long look at Larry Boa before arriving at the plate. Matt hitting .278 with 11 home runs, 32 runs batted in. The Dodgers with a great home record. They're 19-9, so they're looking for number 20 tonight. The Braves are 19-6 at home. The Mets are 20-9. Throw to first, and Furcal jumps back on the bag. Rafael has stolen 8 out of 9. So here's Kemp waiting at the plate. Furcal poised and at the ready over there at first. Hanson ready, delivers, and there's a ground ball to short. They're going to get one. It'll be turned for 2. So Matt Kemp hits the first pitch into a double play. And just like that, we have 2 down in the first inning. And Andre Ethier will be coming up. Andre Ethier has been tearing it up. You wouldn't know because just before he got hurt, he was hitting in the 390s. And when he comes up to the plate now, he's hitting 363. But he has been swinging the bat very well. Last night he had a scoring fly ball and double. He had a double and a single the game before. The game before that, he had 2 line drives and a single. So he's doing very well, thank you. And the first pitch to Andre is taken for a strike. Ethier, by the way, needs 9 plate appearances of being eligible for the batting title. And Bobby Cox, talking about Andre, said just that. Oh, give him enough at-bats, and he'll lead the league. Strike one pitch, and that's a little low. 1-1 the count. Dodgers trying to improve their pride against the Eastern Division. They're only 3-8, going 18-5 within their own Western Division. The 1-1 pitch off speed and away. 2-1 the count. Tommy Hanson had a career start against the Dodgers. He lost that game. Earned run average was 6, allowing 4 earned runs last year in 6 innings. 2-1 pitch, and Ethier has to scramble out of the way, and by pulling his feet back to keep his balance, he had to run across home plate. So 3-1 to count to Andre Ethier. And as we mentioned, the hitters have to stay loose. Tommy Hanson has hit 5. Meanwhile, Manny waits on deck. 3-1 pitch coming up to Andre Ethier. And the big right-hander delivers, and it's going to be hit down the left field line, foul in the lower deck. 3-2 the count. Hanson doesn't really hide the ball that well. At 6'6", it's not a case of elbows and kneecaps and the glove and suddenly the ball coming on top of you, because he gets to a certain point and pauses, like Dan Herron. Big guy, both feet on the rubber, looks down to get a sign, turns now, freezes, and then delivers, snaps it inside, ball 4. So Manny Ramirez, who is struggling, you can use any word you want, but he is hurting with the bat. And Manny coming up. Ramirez hitting .274, but that's a little camouflage, because since he came back from the DL a month ago, May 8th, he's hitting just .194. So Manny ready to get in. Last night, he was 1 for 3, grounding a single to left, and the game before went 0 for 4. Hanson set, looks over at Ethier. Now the pitch to Ramirez, swung on and missed. 0-1. Whether it's a cutter or a slider, they are really giving him a bad time, down and away. So Manny, getting beat up there, has struck out one more time than he has walked. 0-1 the count. Out of a stretch goes Hanson. Tommy strike one pitch, down and too far away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Of course, it's a very familiar pattern. They start him down and away, and then they'll bust him up and in. And that pitch up and in, he used to destroy. But at least right now, while he's struggling, that's not the case. So Hanson with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Brian McCann shuffling his cards behind the plate, wigwagging a sign or so out to Tommy Hanson. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Right-hander ready, delivers, fastball, hit foul down the right field line, out of play, and the count 1-2. Nice crowd on hand, and well, we should have. I mean, this is a great series, and it reflected in the scores. Game 1, the Braves won 4-3. Last night, the Dodgers won 5-4. This ought to be another push versus shove, as Clayton Kershaw chews bubble gum and takes in the game after a somewhat frustrating performance last night for him. 1-2 the count. Hanson set, looking over his left shoulder at Ethier. Time. Not sure. Usually the plate umpire, when he indicates time, will point, whether it's to the catcher or the hitter. Mike Muchlinski is working balls and strikes. He's from the state of Washington. He works in Arizona. 1-2 the count. Ramirez waiting, Hanson set. Tommy a long look. Here he comes, down and away with a slider, and a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Pitch after pitch. That's what we've seen. Sliders down and away, cutters away, and then the occasional pitch up and in. Hanson has stayed away on all 4 pitches, and the count holds 2-2 with Ethier over there at first base. Ethier does not have a stolen base, nor has he been involved in one. And the 2-2 pitch to Manny Ramirez. Hansen deals, fastball, chopper up the middle. That's going to go into center field. Base hit. Andre Ethier stops that second. A fastball, but it wasn't up and in. And Manny was able to chop and beat it and picks up the run. He had to go down to get it, actually, in a big kangaroo bounce over the mound. So the Dodgers now, with runners at first and second, they've had 2 hits and a walk, but a double play put the blocks to it. And the batter now is James Loney. Loney had the big hit last night in the 7th inning with runners at first and second and 1 out. They brought in Eric O'Flaherty to relieve Kenshin Kawakami. And Loney singled up the middle against the left-hander to give the Dodgers the 5-4 lead. And then the bullpen shut the Braves down. So here is Loney trying to get Ethier home from second. James has a look at a strike, and the count 0-1. James backs out for a moment. Runners taking their leads. Waiting his turn on deck, Russell Martin. 0-1 to Loney, no score. First inning, 2 on, 2 out. Loney takes another strike, and the count 0-2. So Tommy Hansen, the Rage from Redlands. Thomas J. Hansen. He was the #1 prospect in the Braves organization before spring training in 2009. Among other things, 2 no-hitters in Little League and a no-hitter in the minors. He was the Braves minor league pitcher of the year 2 years ago. Loney takes in the dirt. Nice save by Brian McCann. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McCann has a sore quadricep. Did not catch last night. They had David Ross behind the plate last night. But Brian is back in action. So 2 on. Ethier at second. Ramirez at first. 2 out. And James Loney hitting .286. 33 runs batted in. Hansen set. Here he comes. Fastball swung on, fouled away. Off to the left, back into the crowd. And it's still 1-2. For Loney, hitting .295 against right-hand pitching. 3 of his 4 home runs against right-handers. James waiting, 1-2. Hansen, hands at his sides. 6'6", standing on that 10-inch mound. So head in the clouds, and his 1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, fouled away. Off-speed breaking ball. And it's still 1-2. Tommy Hansen, whose pattern tells you he struggles in the second inning, but here he is making 25 pitches in the first inning. Picked up his first major league victory last year in interleague play when he beat Baltimore. 1-2 the count to James Loney. Hansen very deliberate, looks back at second. The pitch to Loney, swung on and missed, and down he goes. Slider down and in. Loney strikes out, so the Dodgers get 2 hits and a walk and come up empty. And at the end of an inning, no score.
game. Tommy Hansen made 26 pitches, but he got through the inning. And for the Braves, Brian McCann, Troy Gloss, and then Eric Hinsky coming up in the second inning. So the Dodgers with 2 base hits and a walk, but the double play slowed everything down. So we go to the second inning scoreless. Brian McCann, a Georgia boy. He's from Athens, Georgia, the home of the university. Went to Duluth High School. Hitting .248, 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in, and takes a strike. 0-1. McCann has been very successful hitting the first pitch, but he let that one go by. He's hitting over 600 hitting that first pitch. This time he takes under the hands. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brian is 6'3", 220, 26 years old, so he's really got a long career ahead of him, and he's been with the Braves since 2005. 1-1 pitch, breaking ball low and in, little cutter. 2-1 the count. So Chad Billingsley trying to win his 7th, trying to win his 5th in a row. Looks down the barrel to get a sign. McCann with a quiet bat. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Brian takes a strike. 2-2. Brian is the son of former Marshall University head coach Howard McCann. And Howie taught his sons the game. Here's the 2-2 pitch way inside, ball 3. Brian's father made himself into a fine infielder, drafted by the Twins, but he went back to school and then to Mississippi State. 3-2 pitch is away, ball 4. So McCann takes one off the plate for the walk, and that will bring up Troy Gloss, the big first baseman, the player of the month for the month of May. And Gloss last night struck out twice, flied out and walked, and had a 9-game winning streak go down the drain. The Gloss checking in. Pride of Tarzana and Carlsbad. 6'5", 240. Hitting .278. And the pitch to Troy, he shies off, and it's in for a strike. 0-1. Gloss with 10 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Of course, way back in his salad days 10 years ago, he had 47 home runs. He's had as many as 111 runs batted in. He has McCann at first, and he has to get away from the pitch high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gloss takes his helmet off and looks at the helmet. On video and up here, it didn't look like it was that close, but of course, if you're the hitter, it's another story. So Troy slowly gets back up to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Throughout his career, he's been the master of the extra base hit. His percentage, over 46% of his hits are extra base hits. He shies off, and a pitch apparently a little high, awfully close. 2-1 to count. So Billingsley pitching out of the stretch with McCann at first. The catcher has 1 stolen base, but he has that sore quad. The pitch to Troy Gloss, down and away, ball 3. 3-1 to Troy. And of course, like everyone else from the university, Troy grieving over the loss of John Wooden. He was drafted out of UCLA back in 1997. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Troy, and the big guy holds up on a strike that gets the inside part of the plate. Fastball runs the count, 3-2. So Troy taking his time before getting back in. He's been averaging an RBI almost every 4 at-bats. Here's the 3-2 pitch coming up. Runner does not go, and the ball fouled away. So McCann holding on, and Gloss fouls it off. For Troy Gloss, in checking his numbers, he has grounded into 6 double plays. Billingsley ready. Another look at McCann. He's not going, and the pitch is strike 3 called. Slider got the inside corner. It looked like Ross was ready to go to first, thinking it was ball 4. Tell you the truth, and sitting up here, it's easy to say, Ross looked very uncomfortable. It might be that the lights are not taking any effect, but he was flinching a lot. Fastball wasn't that close, but he backed out and took the helmet off. So that was just not a happy at-bat for him. So Bobby Cox looks on, and Troy is still muttering in the dugout. And with one out, the batter is Eric Hinske. Hinske, left-hand hitter, and the first pitch to him is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Eric is a Wisconsin boy, but he went to school at the University of Arkansas. His father is a high school math teacher, and his mom is a project coordinator for a publishing company. The 1-0 pitch, Derek, swung on, fouled away. 1-1 the count. Eric Hinske, originally drafted by the Cubs. As a kid, he grew up in Wrigley Field. His family would go there during summer vacations. But when he made it to the big leagues, he made it with the Blue Jays. Then the Red Sox, Pirates, Yankees, and now Braves. The 1-1 pitch to Hinske is taken for a strike. You know, when you look at Eric Hinske, he and Don Baylor are the only 2 major leaguers in history to have played in 3 straight World Series, each time with a different team. Hinske played with the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Yankees. Baylor played with the Red Sox, the Twins, and the A's. The pitch reached for, popped up, shallow left for call out, Manny in, and it's Ramirez for the catch. So holding at first, Brian McCann.
Shortstop, number 19, Yunel Escobar.
So Manny had to come a ways to get to that ball. 2 out, and Yunel Escobar coming up. Escobar with 3 RBIs last night. No home runs, 16 runs batted in. And what makes him particularly dangerous, this is the longest home run drought by at-bats in his career. So the right-hand batter waiting, shies away the pitch up and in, ball 1. The last home run he hit was September the 2nd last year. So 243 at-bats without a home run. Escobar takes one in on the knuckles. 2 balls and no strikes. I mean, we're not exactly talking about Babe Ruth here, but he did have 14 home runs last year and 10 the year before. Escobar from Havana, Cuba. And the 2-0 pitch on the way to Yunel, and that's a strike. That first name, Y-U-N-E-L. Yunel Escobar. Story we repeat each game, along with 5 other baseball players and 25 other people. They were on a 25-foot boat to escape Cuba and made it. 2-1 pitch, and that's low and inside. Ball 3, 3-1. Escobar came with his best buddy, Brian Pena. Pena had a chance, but never quite made it. And the operative word, I guess, should be yet. Now the 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Brian 2. So with 2 down, 3-2, Loney is off the bag at first. McCann ready to go. Billingsley looks in to get a sign. Nate McLouth on deck. Billingsley said, runner goes, and it is ball 4. So 2 walks with 2 out here in the 2nd inning. And Nate McLouth. McLouth is having a lot of trouble. In his past 30 games, he's hitting 170. Gets even tougher than that. On the road, Nate is hitting 114. And here's a good player. Here's a fellow who was a star with the Pirates who is really struggling right now. So McLeod with 2 on, 2 out, no score, second inning. Billingsley stretches, comes to the plate, starts him with a high strike. Fastball, 0-1 the count. Billingsley facing McLeod. McLeod is 3 for 10 against him in the past. Probably one reason why the slumping McLeod is playing tonight. Strike 1 pitch on the way. That's in there. Strike 2. So Billingsley puts McLeod in a hole. No balls, 2 strikes. No score, second inning. McCann at second, Escobar at first with 2 out. McLeod, left-hand hitter. And the strike 2 pitch is pulled on the ground to Loney. He goes to the bag. I'm not sure if Loney was sure how many outs there were, because instinctively he started to throw to second base. And then he corrected himself and went to the bag. So at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Is in the crowd. Pretty good sized crowd tonight. Russell Martin will lead it off, and he'll be followed by Jamie Carroll and Blake DeWitt. Talk about patterns. Maybe there's a Russell Martin pattern as far as how he goes against the Braves. Seems like he does very well against the Braves every other year. And for him, unfortunately, this would be the odd year. We'll talk about the pattern in a moment. As Hansen ready, and the first pitch to Russ is a line drive, base hit to right field. Here's what looked like the pattern. In 06, he was 0 for 10. In 07, he hit 348. In 08, he hit 111. In 09, he hit 360. And prior to that hit, he was only hitting 125 against Atlanta. Pattern? Maybe. And with Martin at first, leading off the batter now, Jamie Carroll. No score, Dodgers no runs, 3 hits plus a walk. Tom Hansen set, turns, throws to first. Martin jumps back on the bag. Martin still with pretty good running speed, and he's stolen 3 out of 4. Jamie Carroll, who has been a contact hitter and batting .306, so you look for a play perhaps. The first pitch to Jamie, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Carroll has walked 22 times, struck out 25. So he's pretty handy to have up there if you're thinking about putting a play on. For Hansen, he has walked 23 and he has struck out 64. A look over at Martin, he doesn't go. Big bounce at Hansen at 6'6". He makes the play and turns it into a double play. Hansen just reached up into the clouds, then fired the ball to Prado, who turned it to Gloss. And just like that, the Dodgers now have hit into 2 double plays in 2 innings. So 1-4-3. And with 2 out, the batter will be Blake DeWitt. Blake DeWitt hitting .259 with 14 runs batted in. Hansen ready, snaps the fastball low, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Blake, left-hand hitter, in and out of the box. Struggling now. He's had just 1 hit in his last 18 at-bats. And promptly hits a flare into right center, base hit. Hayward picks it up. So for DeWitt, hoping the drought is over as he singles. And the Dodgers now 4 hits and a walk in an inning and 2/3 and unable to score. Kemp hit into a double play in the first inning. Carroll hits into a double play in the second. And here is Billingsley. Not exactly a slouch with the bat. He has 2 hits. And takes a pitch off the plate, ball 1. He has struck out about 1/3 of the time. Not bad for a pitcher. So Tommy Hansen, whose size helped him, handling that high bouncer hit by Jamie Carroll. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and Billingsley takes a strike. 1-1. Tomorrow, the final game of the 4-game series. Tim Hudson, 6-1. John Eli, 3-2. Eli, arms folded on the railing in front of the Dodger dugout, watching Hansen's every move. The 1-1 pitch, and Billingsley takes another strike. 1-2. On deck, Rafael Furcal. Last year, the Braves managed to beat the Dodgers 4 out of 7. This year, it's an 8-game series. 1-2 pitch coming up. Billingsley takes in the dirt. And the count 2-2. The Dodgers have not won a season series with Atlanta since they won 4 of 6 back in 2002. So Joe would certainly like to return the favor in the odd series. This is an odd year where the series with an Eastern team 8 games, not 7. Now the 2-2 pitch to Billingsley. Hansen delivers, swung on, fouled away. 2 of the most successful managers in the game battling each other over in the Atlanta dugout. Bobby Cox is going to retire at the end of the year. 2,445 victories. In the Dodger dugout, Joe Torre, 2,278 victories. Going head to head, Torre 69 wins, Cox 68. 2-2 pitch is swung on, a high fly ball into center and deep. Back goes McLeod to the track. It bounces over his head against the wall. Scoring on the double is DeWitt, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. So Chad Billingsley, indeed not a slouch with the bat. A long double over the head of Nate McLeod, and McLeod can really go get him. And Billingsley put the wood to a fastball and hit it to dead center. McLeod went back, but he had to play it on a hop as it kicked up against the wall. Fortunately for the Dodgers, it didn't go over the wall on the bounce. So the run is in. Dodgers on their 5th hit finally get a run and lead 1-0. 4th career double for Billingsley, and Chad does have 1 home run. So here's Furcal, and he takes all the way, and it's a strike. 0-1. Rafael single to right in the first inning. Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits. Rafael Furcal, rookie of the year 10 years ago for Atlanta. And the strike 1 pitch on the way. Hansen fires inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hansen will lead off for the Braves. when they come up in the third inning. 1-1. Billingsley taking his lead at second. Right behind him, Yunel Escobar. And the 1-1 pitch to Furcal is swung on and fouled away. 1-2. Hitting back of Rafael Matkemp. Well, we're playing 3 games, and it just doesn't seem right to be playing the Braves and not see Chipper Jones. Chipper's been with Atlanta for 17 years as he sits quietly and looks on, a first-round draft pick. He's got a bad right ring finger, which is why he's not playing. 1-2 pitch on the way for call. Takes a little high. I'm not sure whether Rafael thought that was strike 3. He started to walk across the plate. 2-2 the count to Rafael. Hansen hides the ball back of his right hip. Now the 6'6" right-hander set. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Taken high. Ball 3. 3-2. Dodgers and Braves tomorrow, and then remember, the St. Louis Cardinals will be in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Then the Dodgers have a day off, and next weekend, the Angels. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Furcal. Swung on and missed at the plate, and down he goes. However, the Dodgers get 2 singles, a double, and manage to get 1 thanks to Billingsley and lead 1-0. Dodgers tomorrow for the next Viva Los Dodgers Day of the season, presented by State Farm. It all begins at 11 a.m. as the Dodgers celebrate the life and music of Jose Lima. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or give us a call, 866-DODGERS. Hansen struggled a bit, made 17 pitches, got away cheaply enough, 2 singles and a double. We like to see patterns develop in the game. We were talking a little bit ago about Russell Martin and his pattern as Tommy Hansen checks in, bringing up that 6'6" strike zone, takes the strike. Well, here's a couple of patterns, and the pattern would be 2 strikes on the hitter. And you know, we've always preached about how important the count is. Strike 1 pitch, up and in, almost hit him. 1 ball and 1 strike. With 2 strikes on the hitter in this series, the Braves are 1 for 25. Carry the thought one step further. The Dodgers have 3 2-strike hits already tonight. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Tommy fouls it away down the right field line. 1-2 the count. The Dodgers averaging almost 43,000 a game. The Braves in first place are averaging 28,000 a game. 1-2 pitch on the way. Hansen swings, fouls it off. Tommy looks like he sees himself as a hitter. He's not just up there because it's his turn. He has 3 hits. He has struck out about a third of the time. 1-2 the count. Billingsley ready. Here he comes. Swung on and fouled away. Fouling off a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. There's another thing about Hansen, at least on that last pitch. I mean, he's up on the plate. You see a lot of pitchers that really don't want to look at the ball, but Hansen towers over the plate. 1-2 the count. And fouled away. So he's up there hacking away. Still 1-2. You can tell some pitchers are really not very happy at the plate. Even not making any fun of him, but like Hiroki Kuroda, a lot of times is backing away on the pitch, no matter where it is. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that is in there. Strike 3 called. So Hansen stood his ground and strikes out. That would be the 3rd strikeout for Chad Billingsley. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. And now the leadoff man, Martin Prado, popped up in the first inning. He has a 9-game hitting streak. He leads the National League in batting average. Number of hits, 75. Multi-hit games, 24. He shies away, and it's ball 1. He's had more than 1 hit in a game, 13 of his last 25. And once they put him leadoff, he has really been something. He swings, fouls it away. Prado, since they made him the leadoff man, is hitting .352. And the only guy who tops him in on-base percentage, Ichiro. Ichiro, by the way, scored the 1,000th run of his career today. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, hit into right center. Another base hit for Prado. Over to get it is Kemp and Ethier. Kemp come up with it, and Prado holds on with a long single.
The Braves, number 4, third baseman.
So the 1-out single to right center, and that will bring up Omar Infante. Martin Prado, boy, what a leadoff man he's become for the Atlanta Braves. Infante struck out in the first inning, went 1 for 4 last night, 0 for 5 the night before. So he is 1 for 10 in the series. Came in doing very well. Now 297, hits a bullet right at Manny Ramirez in left field. That's one of the harder plays for an outfielder. That clothesline coming right at you. And Manny had to find his glove for the second out. Ball just started to twist on him a little bit at the last minute, so he wound up backhanding it. 2-out third inning, Prado at first. Dodgers lead 1-0. And here is Jason Hayward. Remember the 20-year-old who struck out 5 times last night. And Jason promptly hits it into right center. That's a base hit, his first one in the series. Prado goes to third. So the Braves now have runners at first and third with 2 out, and the batter will be Brian McCann. So Prado singles, Hayward singles. Dodgers lead 1-0. Runners at the corners for Atlanta, and the catcher Brian McCann checking in. McCann walked in the second inning. Brian, the #1 catcher in the league, and he's always been the last few years the #1 home run hitting catcher as well. When he walked his first at bat, that's nothing new as he takes off the plate, ball one. Rate of walks per plate appearances, he's about 6th in the league. And his ratio of strikeouts to walks is less than 1. So Brian waiting, 1 ball and no strikes. He holds up on a pitch in the dirt. They look at third. No swing, says the crew chief, Jerry Davis. And we have a 2-ball, no strike count. The Braves, pretty disciplined ball club. Among other things, they lead the league in walks. In fact, they lead the major leagues in walks. They have 2 walks tonight to give them 254. McCann, the #1 home run hitting catcher since 2006, and he takes a strike. Brian, in those 4 years, has homered 86 times. Benji Molina 74. Then Posada 68, Olivo 67. 2 balls and 1 strike to Brian. Left-hand hitter taps it on the ground for a call. He'll run to the bag ahead of the sliding Hayward, and that's that. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end of 2 1/2, 1-0 Dodgers. Matt Kemp grounded into a double play in the first inning. He'll lead off, followed by Andre Ethier and then Manny Ramirez. Beautiful summer's evening, 74 degrees at the start of the game. The only difference, complete haze back of the hills in the outfield. The mountains are a rumor out there. So Kemp checks in. And Hansen ready and delivers. Looked like a change. Maybe tried to spin it, but it stayed up. 1 ball and no strikes. Matt trying to get something started. The Dodgers with 5 hits, but because they've hit into 2 double plays, just 1 run. Mike Muchlinski, the plate umpire, cleans off home plate. Matt back up and waiting. 1 ball and no strikes. Tommy Hansen looks down the barrel to get a sign. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball down and away. For Tommy Hansen, his first 3 years in the Braves organization, they would not let him throw a slider. That's an organizational rule. The 2-0 pitch on the way. And Matt takes a look at a strike. There's the slider. Yeah, the Braves feel that young pitchers just shouldn't throw sliders. Then later on, after he'd been around for a few years, then they say, okay, you're old enough now. And the slider's pretty much been an out pitch for him. 2-1 pitch on the way is taken low, ball 3. It seems to me the slider really came into being about 1950, 51. That's when the big debate came on about throwing the slider, which, as I understand it, is thrown pretty much with a stiff wrist. 3-1 fastball fouled away. And what's the problem with that? Well, they say that she can hurt your arm. I remember a big discussion in New York when you had the Yankees, the Giants, and Dodgers. That was topic A about should you gamble, risk a serious arm injury throwing a slider. Well, today, it's part of almost every pitcher's repertoire. Here's the 3-2 pitch coming up to Matt Kemp. Hansen ready. Tommy comes back. Fastball fouled away. Still 3-2. Hansen, back in 09, last year in June, became the only National League rookie pitcher to beat the Yankees and the Red Sox in consecutive starts. 3-2 pitch, swung on, hit the center. McLeod going back, away back to the track at the wall. It's over his glove. He's lost it momentarily. So Matt's going to try to go for 3. He is in there with a triple. Nate McLeod, for the second time tonight, has the ball hit over his head. I think he might have hurt his foot a little bit at the base of the center field wall. And then when the ball dropped, he turned around, and for a split second, he lost the ball. Then discovered it, and it was too late, and Matt was into third. So McLeod gave it his best shot, could not reach it. So he couldn't get Billingsley's double, and he can't get Matt Kemp's triple. And he is a fine defensive outfielder. So Ethier, Ramirez, and Loney trying to pick him up. The Dodgers trying to add to a 1-0 lead. And the first pitch way inside at the left foot. Ball 1. How about wild pitches? Tommy has 1. So Matt Kemp at third. Nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Dodgers. For Matt, by the way, his third triple. Andre waiting, 1 ball and no strikes. Hansen comes back, low and inside again, ball 2, 2-0 the count. So the Dodgers have 6 hits, but only 1 run. They lead 1-0. Hansen staring in to get a sign. Now set at the belt, head down deep in thought. Now lifts the head, comes to Ethier, and it's hit in the air to left field. Starting back on the ball was Hinsky. Now makes the catch. Here comes Matt Kemp ahead of the throw. Dodgers lead 2-0. Hinsky started back. I don't think it would have made any difference, especially the way Matt Kemp runs. So Eric, like all outfielders, they instinctively go back, just like all infielders instinctively go forward. So for Andre Ethier, a scoring fly ball to left field to give him 40 runs batted in. And the batter now, Manny Ramirez. Manny bounced a single up the middle in the first inning. Hansen ready, big slow curveball, drops in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Manny with 4 home runs. Joe Torre said, I don't really worry about his home runs as long as he comes up with the RBIs. Well, he has 25. Strike 1 pitch on the way. Another strike, 0-2. Another breaking ball. However, they're pitching differently the first 2 pitches. His first at bat, lots of sliders, breaking balls down and away. Then he got a pitch up and single to center. 0-2. Dodgers lead 2-0 in the third. Manny looks at a pitch way off the plate. Slider 1-2 the count. Interesting, talking about the fact they don't like their young pitchers to throw sliders. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Manny Ramirez. Slapped down the right field line. So he went the other way with a fastball. He's on his way into second base with a stand-up double. And he slides into second without a play. So Manny, without any chance of a play at second base, still wasn't going to make any chances and broke into a slide. He got a fastball down and slapped it the other way. And then as Jason Hayward chased the ball, Manny's heard about his arm, so he slid in. Claps his hands once, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. Dodgers have 7 hits, but only 2 runs. And the batter is James Loney, who struck out in the first inning. Escobar directly behind Ramirez, and the pitch in the dirt, I believe, hit Loney on the foot. Yep. Well, remember what we told you, and we weren't making any other point about it, except the inference is he's a bit wild. Hansen leads the league in hit batters, and that would be the 6th hitter he's gotten. And this one off the foot or ankle, right down in the dirt. Hit the front foot, left-hand hitter, right foot. And James slowly going to first. So Loney at first with 1 out. Brian McCann going out to talk to Hansen. Dodgers have first and second. Russell Martin coming up. Meanwhile, Loney is hobbled down there at first base. Stan Conti going out to check him, as is Joe Torre. Mariano Duncan talking to him, and James kind of pawing at the dirt with his right foot. So Loney on a pitch in the dirt tried to get the right leg up, then stepped forward, and as he turned, it got him right on the, I guess the little toe of the right foot. So timeout. Loney trying to get some more feeling in the foot, kind of bouncing up and down. One thing about Loney, he doesn't usually get hit, and he's going to be all right. It's the first time he's been hit by a pitch since August of 2008. So considering the fact that he's in there every day, he has a pretty good talent of getting out of the way. Maybe he's been taking lessons from Garrett Anderson, who's the all-time Dodger. Garrett is the Dodgem Dodger. Garrett talking to Matt Kemp right now as they both drape on the railing in front of the dugout. So Ramirez at second, Loney at first, and here's Russell Martin. 1 out, a run in. Dodgers lead 2-0. And Hansen delivers, and it's swung on and missed. Martin staggering in the swing. Russell single to right field in the second inning. He gave you that pattern where he does well against the Braves every other year, and this is the other year. But he's been on base 27 of the last 29 games. 0-1 to Russell Martin, hitting .247. Hansen looks at the runners, back he comes, and a fastball in there. In the inning, Matt Kemp tripled over Nate McLeod's head. Ethier's fly ball picked him up. Then Ramirez doubled to right, and Loney hit by a pitch. 1 out. Hitting back of Martin is Jamie Carroll. Hansen set, looks back at second. Now the right-hander to the plate, and it's pulled foul outside of third. Boy, Russell Martin really jerked that thing. So 0-2 the count. Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Braves, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Martin slow to get back up to the plate. Again, the runners take their leads with 1 out. Hansen hands it aside. McCann is crouched behind the plate, trying to set a target for him. And the strike 2 pitch coming up. Hansen ready, delivers. Martin slaps at it, lifts a pop fly into shallow right. A trio of Braves, and Jason Hayward makes the catch. That's for the 2nd out, so the runners hold. And in a minute, it'll be Jamie Carroll. You know, the only way to see the Dodgers and Yankees this summer at the stadium is with a Dodger ticket plan. Individual tickets will not be available for this highly anticipated series. Plans start at $12 per seat. So buy today at Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. 2 on, 2 out, and here is Jamie Carroll. Carroll hit into a double play only because the pitcher is 6'6", and Jamie takes a strike. Carroll beat one down into the ground, and it really kangarooed in the air. But standing on a 10-inch mound, and he's 6'6", Hansen was able to reach up and get it, and then start the double play. Jamie having a big homestand, hitting .529. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and Carroll swings a little late. There's a throw through back to Escobar, but getting back to the bag is Ramirez. The timeout. Then he has to shake off some Dodger Stadium real estate. Then he has something to say to Yunel Escobar. Escobar reaches down and grabs Manny's left hand and lifts it off the bag. That's why Ramirez had something to say to him. Fun and games at second base. 0-2 the count to Jamie Carroll. Hansen again look back there. Tommy Reddy delivers, drops it low. McCann on both knees to make sure that curveball didn't get away. For Hansen, making a lot of pitches. He has 1 wild pitch. He's also given up 6 home runs this year. Second on the club. Kenshin Kawakami has given up 8. All right, the 1-2 pitch to Jamie Carroll. Hansen looks back at Ramirez. Now comes to Jamie, and it's a ground ball to shortstop. Escobar feeding Prado coming over, and that's that. So the Dodgers get a double, a triple, a scoring fly ball, and at the end of 3, lead the Braves 2-0. Toyota's full line of hybrid and fuel-efficient vehicles at your Toyota dealers today. And by Corona. Dodgers lead the Braves 2-0 as we go to the 4th inning. The Dodgers 2 runs, 7 hits. Braves no runs, 2 hits. It'll be Troy Gloss. He'll be followed by Eric Hinsky and then Yunel Escobar. You know, earlier we were talking about patterns, first with Russell Martin and then about the difference between the two teams. It's like looking at the thread of a tapestry to see how far through it goes. That's a strike. Well, here it is. The Dodgers have 5 two-strike hits tonight. So 5 hitters with 2 strikes were able to still manage a base hit. The Braves are 0 for 6 with 2 strikes. And by the way, that's the count now on Troy Gloss, 0-2. And with 2 strikes in the series, the Braves are 1 for 26. So the count, as usual, extremely important. 0-2. 1-2. Tomorrow afternoon, Tim Hudson with a record of 6-1 against John Eli, who is 3-2. Fouled away. Troy, who, and it was just a feeling up here looking down at him, looked somewhat uncomfortable his first at bat. Wound up striking out. 1-2. Fastball. Gloss, Hinsky, Escobar. Dodgers took the field tonight, tied for first because San Diego lost. So now it depends on the outcome of the game. If they win, they're in first place by themselves by a half a game. Just low on a check swing. No swing, says Greg Gibbons. Two balls and 2 strikes to Troy Gloss. Fastball hit slowly to short. There's for call. Plenty of time. 1 away. So Gloss 0 for 2 as he goes back to the dugout, and another failed hitter with 2 strikes on him. Here's Hinsky, flied to left field in the 2nd inning. Eric 0 for 1. Hinsky hitting .322, 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. He's 6'2" and 235, give or take a pound or 2. Went to the University of Arkansas. 2 balls and no strikes. Hinsky was the American League Rookie of the Year when he was with the Blue Jays back in 2002. And Billingsley now behind 3-0. When Hinsky was at Arkansas, the school wanted him to play football. They wanted him to be a blocking fullback. And he decided, that's nice. They want me to block so somebody else can carry the ball. And I figured it was a better sense of employment opportunity with baseball, and here he is. He's had a wonderful career since '02. Another strike. He's had as many as 24 home runs in the big leagues. Three and 2. Little roll to Deloney, backs up, and will feed Billingsley coming over. Two out in the 4th inning.
Number 19, shortstop.
Billingsley so far has allowed just 1 fly ball. Boy, Hinsky's hot. Whoa. Wow. He is angry. And you have to feel the previous pitch. This one he thought was off the plate. And that's what really ticked him off. Then he grounds out. And he's 0 for 2. Here's Yunel Escobar. Ball 1. The boy from Cuba having a lot of fun with the boy from the Dominican, Manny Ramirez, around second base in that third inning. 2-0 the count. That's a strike. 2-1. Escobar waiting on a 2-1 pitch. Way out in front of it. Escobar runs a baseball academy in the offseason in Miami for kids 8 through 12. Two balls and 2 strikes. Fastball, and that's hit over the head of DeWitt into right center. Ethier and Kemp. Ethier cuts it off and holds him to a long single. Nice defensive play out there by Andre Ethier. So Andre has walked. He has a scoring fly ball, and he takes a base away from Escobar. And the batter now is the hard-pressed Nate McLouth. McLouth grounded out. He's hitting 174. He's hitting about 110 on the road and having an awful time. After 2 years ago, he was brilliant with the Pirates. He hits a line drive at Blake DeWitt. And so it goes. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. At the end of 3.5 innings, 2-0 Dodgers. Where you'll find the new Transit Connect. Check it out at sc4dealers.com. Dodgers trying to hang on to at least a 2-0 lead against Atlanta. Bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Blake DeWitt, Chad Billingsley, and Rafael Furcal against Tommy Hanson. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 3 hits for the Braves. A strike. 0-1. Oh, and 2. Hansen pitching out of constant trouble. Dodgers have left 5. They've grounded into 2 double plays. So he is still very much in the game. 0-2. 1-2. They're going to check. No swing, says Jerry Davis. So the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And ball 3. Hansen, having given up 7 hits, he has also walked 1 and he has also hit 1. Foul back. So if a walk is as good as a hit, as we always said, and a hit batter, the Dodgers have had ample opportunity to have a pretty good lead, but Hansen stubbornly hanging on, and it's just 2-0 Dodgers. Fastball. Straightaway center. Nate McLouth is there. So DeWitt flies out. 1 away. Chad Billingsley coming up. Billingsley came up with Blake DeWitt at first, 2 out in the 2nd inning, and unloaded on a fastball, hit it over the head of center fielder Nate McLouth, and by the time Nate gathered it in, DeWitt brought in the run. Billingsley wound up with a double, and the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead. For Hansen, facing his opposite number, Hansen will lead off in the 5th inning. That's a strike. Each pitcher has made the other pitcher work a little bit. Billingsley had 6 pitches before he doubled. Tommy Hansen, remember, fouled off some. He had 7 pitches before he struck out. 0-2 the count to Billingsley. One and 2. Remember, the Dodgers have 5 2-strike hits. 1-2 to Chad. See you later. So Billingsley caught looking, and we have 2 down. You know, you can join the Dodgers Tuesday. That's Jonathan Broxton bobblehead night, presented by Kaiser Permanente. The first 50,000 fans to see the Dodgers and Cardinals take home their very own Little Big John. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Jonathan Broxton leading a bullpen that has been magnificent. The Dodger bullpen in the last 22 1/3 innings has not allowed a run, and the opposition is hitting 186. The bunt in the air, foul, out of play. For Raphael, a drag bunt attempt. He wanted to bring that with him as opposed to slapping it between third and the mound. 0-1. Percal singled to right in the first inning and struck out in the second. They play him to left field. 0-2. Hansen, followed by Prado, and then Infante. If anybody gets on, Jason Hayward in the 5th inning. Oh and 2. Fastball away, kind of a showcase pitch. Tomorrow afternoon, Tim Hudson with a record of 6-1 against John Eli, who is 3-2 and pitching better than that would indicate. Fouled away. John Eli, 3-2, has a great earned run average of 2.5. Remember last time out, 2 hits, 7 scoreless innings, and had nothing to do with the victory in a 1-0 game the Dodgers won on the home run by Matt Kemp. 1-2. Pulled on the ground. Loss comes up with it, and that's the 3rd out. So, at the end of 4, Dodgers 2, Braves nothing. So Tommy Hansen, who has improved dramatically now in the last few hitters, he'll start off. Ball 1. Tommy Hansen has been 0-2 to the last 5 hitters and gotten them all. As a batter, he struck out in the 3rd inning. But he also made Billingsley make 7 pitches, fouling off a bunch. 1-1 to Tommy Hansen. And that's a strike. 1-2. Billingsley has allowed the 3 hits, walked 2, a momentary lapse in the 2nd inning. And a little flare, a 1-hopper, DeWitt, 1 away. Right now, how about thinking? Ken Griffey Jr. announcing his retirement Wednesday. One of 3 players with at least 500 home runs and 10 gold gloves. Who are the others? Griffey Jr. might very well have been as good a player as ever lived had he been fortunate enough to stay healthy. Strike. 0-1. Prado popped up, singled, got around to 3rd. Foul ball. 0-2 the count to Martin. League's leading hitter, batting .322. Off the plate. So Billingsley working on the man from Maracay in Venezuela with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Slap foul, slicing back into the stands. 1-2. Growing up in Venezuela, one of the fellows he watched a great deal on television is now his teammate, Chipper Jones. And always a nice little story, the fact that Prado, as a little boy learning to play the game, 15 years he played baseball in Venezuela, and his mother never missed a game. Now he misses Chipper Jones, who can only sit and watch with that right ring finger heavily taped. Ground ball up the middle for call. So 2 down, and Omar Infante coming up.
For the Braves, number 4, Omar Infante.
Infante struck out and flied to left. On deck, Jason Hayward. 2-0 Dodgers. 2 out, bases empty. Fastball strike. 0-1. Billingsley hitting 93 on the gun a lot. One and one. Determined look on Infante as he waits. Makes you think of David Eckstein. 2-1. I mean, he means business up there. Big spinner, but it stayed up. 3-1. Dodgers lead 2-0. Big Jason Hayward waiting on deck. Fastball whacked up the middle. So Infante sitting on the fastball, singles to center, and that will bring on Hayward, who popped up and singled to center. Hayward hitting in the 270s against left-handers and right-handers. So overall, hitting 277, 10 home runs, 38 runs batted in. And ball one. You know what? Show you what can happen to a kid in Georgia. Through the ages 14, 15, and 16, Hayward, by his own estimation, played about 200 games a year. Big bouncer to do it. You ever hear such a thing? 200 games a year, 30 high school games, 90 to 100 summer games, and another 60 to 80 in the fall. 2-0 Dodgers. time to answer our trivia question. Remember, it had to do with Ken Griffey Jr., one of 3 with at least 500 home runs and 10 Gold Gloves. Who are the others? You have any idea? Yep, Willie Mays and Mike Schmidt. By the way, to give you an idea of what it might have been like for a healthy Ken Griffey Jr., he missed 480 games over his last 9 years. He also had 2 strike-shortened seasons before that. So I would say easily that Ken Griffey Jr., had he played in those, let's say, 450 of the 480, he would have been right there with Henry Aaron. I think. We'll never know. Here's Matt Kemp. Matt hit into a double play and triple scored a run in the 3rd inning. Hansen has had an 0-2 count on each of the last 5 hitters. No balls, 1 strike. 1-1. Matt hitting .280, 11 home runs, 32 runs batted in. One and 1. Breaking ball lifted to right field. Hayward has to come and get it. 1 away. That'll bring up Andre Ethier. A reminder tomorrow, Tim Hudson, John Eli. 1 o'clock game right here on Prime Ticket. And then the Cardinals for 3 nights, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday is an open date. And then the Angels, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Andre with 40 RBIs, pops it foul out of play. Interesting note on Andre, with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs, with that sacrifice fly he had tonight, he has 30 RBIs in 30 at-bats. 0-1. Off the plate. Andre hitting .360 through with 11 home runs to go with the 40 ribbies. In those 30 at bats, he is 17 for 30. 2-1. Braves will have McCann, Gloss, and Hinsky when they come up in the 6th. Dodgers scored in the 2nd. Billingsley doubled in DeWitt with 2 out, and they scored in the 3rd. Triple by Kemp and Ethier's fly ball. Tommy Hansen has given up 7 hits, 1 walk, a hit batter, but only the 2 runs. Way off the plate. So Andre draws a walk, and that'll bring up Ramirez. Manny Ramirez singled up the middle and got a low fastball away and whacked it down the right field line for a double. And it's been a while. That's his first multi-hit game since May 11th. He came back off the DL May 8th. Ramirez followed by Loney. Foul back, fastball down. Dodgers leading 2-0. The Braves have been shut out 6 times this year. Off the plate, 1-1, slider. And a breaking ball for a strike. Man, he looked like he might have been guessing on that pitch, looking fastball, and he was locked. 1-2. Joe Torre trying to win number 2,279. By the way, trying to win, that reminds us about the Belmont Stakes, the 1.5 mile thoroughbred race today. 2-2. Joe had a horse in it. Game On Dude. That was the name of the horse, and it ran exceptionally well, and then got caught up at the very end and finished 4th. 2-2 to Manny Ramirez. Ethier at first with 1 out. We're in the 5th. 2-0 Dodgers. Look out. I thought at first it was going to hit him, and then a late slider got the inside corner. Well, Manny is caught looking.
First baseman number 7, James Looney.
Up in there, and then it got the edge. So Ramirez called out, and the batter now will be James Loney, who has struck out and been hit by a pitch. Loney hit on the foot, his right foot, but stayed in. Lifts it foul off third, well out of play. 0-1 the count. Loney enjoys home cooking. He's hitting .307 at Dodger Stadium with a couple of home runs and 17 runs batted in here. And he's in there game after game. Played them all. 0-1. One and one. A reminder for the Braves in the 6th inning. Brian McCann, Troy Gloss, Eric Hinsky. 1 ball and 1 strike. With the runner going, and did Ethier ever steal everybody's wallet? He stole it on his pitcher and catcher. Not even a throw. They just forgot all about him. And when the pitch was taken, he just kept going. Well, that shocked the Braves. And a heads-up play by Andre Ethier. So now Loney trying to pick him up. First stolen base of the year for Andre. In there. 2-2. So runs tough to come by. Ethier comes up with a big stolen base. And now we'll see about Loney, followed by Martin. And just a tapper to the right side to Prado. And that'll be that. So they leave Ethier. And at the end of 5, it remains 2-0 Dodgers.
number 24, after he spent 23 years at the helm. I'll always remember when Walter Alston won the World's Championship in 1955. He was from a little town in Ohio, Dartown, Ohio. I sent him a Christmas card, and so help me, it came back, address unknown. He was that modest a guy. Let's go back to this one.
Two to nothing Dodgers, sixth inning. Foul ball off the bat of Brian McCann. McCann, 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in, hitting .247, walked in the second inning, hit into a force play in the third. In there. 0-2. Tommy Hansen, in his 5 innings, has made 100 pitches. You can imagine they're moving around in the Atlanta bullpen. That's a lot of work, 105 innings. Chris Medlin sitting in front of him was a very impressive pitcher the other night. 0-2. Ball 1. McCann, Gloss, and Hinsky, and if anybody gets on, Escobar. 1-2 to Brian. Way out in front of that curveball, and the curveball was 70 miles an hour, so you can understand why he was way out in front of it. So Billingsley picks up his 4th strikeout, and the batter, Troy Gloss, who struck out and grounded to short. Two runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, 4 hits for the Braves. Down in the Braves bullpen, Jesse Chavez begins to loosen up. We saw Jesse briefly. Pitched the 9th inning last night. 2-0 the count. Billingsley walked 2 in the second inning. He's not overpowering people. He has struck out 4. He's just flat out pitching. Fastball hits it for call. Plenty of time to get Gloss. Then you have 2 down in the 6th inning. The batter will be Eric Hinsky. The Dodgers have been shut out 7 times. The Dodgers have shut out the opposition 4 times. Here's Hinsky, who, remember, flied to left and then grounded out and was really angry at the plate umpire on the previous pitch before he grounded out. Ball 1. Following Hinsky is Escobar. 1-1 the count, Derek. Big man, 6'2", at least 235. There are those years ago who compared him to his style of play to Paul O'Neill of the Reds and then the Yankees. 1-2. .100 pitches for Billingsley. 2-2. So he's made 12 pitches so far in the inning. Dodgers will have Martin, Carroll, and DeWitt in the bottom of the 6th. Got him. Lahinsky strikes out. Strikeout victim number 5. And at the end of 5.5 innings, Dodgers 2, Braves nothing. Under the scope of the freeze cam, watch Nate McLeod go right into the pads in center field. A face plant indeed, and by the time he recovered, Matt Kemp was into third with a big triple. Nate's okay. He also had to chase one that Billingsley hit. Gold Glove 2 years ago. That was a marvelous year for him. But he has not been able to put up that kind of a year this year, at least so far. 4 months left. Strike to Martin. Russell hitting .246, single to right, fouled out to right. 1-1. Dodgers scored in the 2nd inning and in the 3rd. Slider fouled off. Still 1-2. Russell just rolling along in high gear behind the plate. Been in 53 games. 53 of the 56. Little ground ball to Infante. 1 away. Jamie Carroll coming up. Carroll hit into a double play, hit into a force play. 0 for 2. Jamie has had a huge homestand. He had a very big series against Arizona and trying to keep it going here against Atlanta. Carroll with a little 4-game hitting streak. Ball 1. Came into this game hitting .346 at home. 1 ball and no strikes in there. Braves in the 7th inning will have the bottom 3 of the lineup. Escobar, McLeod, and probably a hitter for Hansen, looking at his pitch count. Tommy Hansen, his highest pitch count 109 back on the 10th of May. The last game he made 107. Foul back. This pitch coming up to Jimmy Carroll will be number 109. That would tie the outing he had in Milwaukee when he went 8 innings. Well, he's only in the 6th tonight. Off the plate. Had a rough first inning, 26 pitches. Then in the 3rd inning, 23 more, and they just kept piling up. 1 out, 6th inning, 2-0 Dodgers. Fouled away. 3-2 to Jamie. Carroll has 4 doubles, and that's it for extra base hits as Blake DeWitt waits on deck. Three and two. And that's going to go down the right field line and for a hit. Over to get it is Hayward. Jamie will hold on with a single to go 1 for 3. And he's hitting 5 straight. He has just been a godsend for the Dodgers. So Blake DeWitt singled, flied out with the pitcher Billingsley getting after him. Jamie standing at first, hitting pretty low in the lineup most of the time. He's 7th tonight, but he's still 3 for 3 in stolen bases. Meanwhile, Casey Blake, who has had that troublesome back with spasms, leaning on the railing, talk about trouble with the back, is Brad Osmus, who had back surgery. So you look at him and Belliard talking to Manny Ramirez, while up front you have Osmus, Blake, and Ronnie Belliard. All right, a meeting out there on the mound. Remember the balk that finished the game the other night? The last time that happened, it happened to that man, Roger McDowell, pitching for the Dodgers, pitching against the Dodgers for the Mets, balked 1989, and the Dodgers won the game. What Roger always complains about, he said with the runner at third, the umpire said he didn't stop. I mean, with the runner at third, stop? He'll never forget that. Okay, here's DeWitt. Carroll at first, 1 out. Blake DeWitt single to right, fly to center, 1 for 2, hitting .262. That base hit in the 2nd inning felt very, very good because he had been 1 for 18. Right. 0-1 the count to Blake DeWitt. Blake looking down to Larry Boa. Jamie Carroll looking across the diamond at Boa. 0-1 the count. The Braves feel that there might very well be a hit and run play here. For Tommy Hanson, one way or another, this figures to be his last inning. Fouled away. 0-2 the count to Blake DeWitt. And got him. So DeWitt caught looking, down he goes. And as he legs the long walk back to the dugout, coming up to the plate, Chad Billingsley. 4 strikeouts for Tommy Hanson. Billingsley hurt him with a double to drive in DeWitt in the 2nd inning. And then Billingsley struck out in the 4th. Chances are very, very slim that Jamie Carroll's going to do anything with 2 out and the pitcher at the plate. And ball 1. And of course the Braves have already been burned once. That's when Andre Ethier really stole second base without a throw. 1-0 to Chad, hitting 143. That's a strike. 1-1. Big slider. So we told you Hanson had hit a point with 109 pitches, and he has moved on from there. And another strike. Hanson has struck out 5, hit a batter, walked 2, and make it strikeout number 6. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and at the end of 6, 2-0 Dodgers. .76 gasoline. We're on the driver's side. And by Jack Daniels. Dodgers trying to hold on to a 2-0 lead as we go to the 7th inning. Tommy Hanson, sitting alongside of Roger McDowell, has put in quite a night's work. He went 6 innings and he made 118 pitches. He made 18 in the 6th inning alone. And with all those pitches, he allowed only 2 runs. Meanwhile, there's a base hit to center for Yunel Escobar to open up the 7th inning. Escobar now at 2 for 2 with a walk. And Nate McLouth, who is just starving to death looking for a base hit. McLouth was hitting 114 on the road, and he is 0 for 2 tonight. Hitting 173. Brooks Conrad, who appeared as a pinch hitter last night, comes out on deck. He would hit for Hanson. Dodger bullpen, Ramon Troncoso gets up. Ball one. McLeod grounded out in the second inning and then was unlucky in his last at bat in the fourth. He hit it right on the button, but he hit it right at Blake DeWitt. McLeod out of Michigan. Right. 1-1. It's the old story about the big leagues. It's tough to get there, and it's even tougher to stay. One ball and one strike. McLeod first came to the big leagues in 2005. He struggled a bit last year. He still had 11 home runs, but he also spent time playing in Rome and Mississippi. Here he is. Nate listed at 5'11", because there are so many big guys down there. He doesn't look that tall. 185. He'll be 29 the end of October. Muskegon, Michigan, lives in Whitehall, Michigan. 1-2. And a little pop fly. That's going to be trouble. It will drop. Picked up by DeWitt. Over to third goes Escobar. So isn't that baseball? McLeod hits one right on the button in the fourth inning, and it's an out in the glove of DeWitt. Now a little fly ball dunker, base hit. So first and third, nobody out. Honeycutt on the phone to see about Troncoso. And here's Conrad coming up to hit for Tommy Hanson. So Joe Torre and Honeycutt meeting about Billingsley. He had made 101 pitches through 6 innings, so they really have to watch that he doesn't run out of gas here. So Brooks Conrad checking in. He's from San Diego and lives in Spring Valley. He was originally drafted by the Astros, went to school at Arizona State. He is a switch hitter, batting left-handed. 0-1. Conrad is hitting .276 from this side. He's only had 5 at-bats, right-handed, and he's 0 for 5. 5'11", a very stocky 190. Off the plate. Conrad batting .235, 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. And a line drive just over the glove of Billingsley. The run scores. Stopping at second is McLeod. Boy, how close did that come from being caught? I think Billingsley feels a little annoyed at himself. Watch this. Right there. Might have even ticked the back of the glove. So for Chad Billingsley, he has come to the end of the road as he gives up 3 consecutive singles and a run. McLeod at second, Conrad at first. Chad comes out. They'll be going to the pen for Ramon Troncoso, and we'll be back. 9 pitches in the 7th inning and gave up 3 consecutive singles. Almost caught the 3rd single, which would have been a double play. He goes out very much up in the air. He could win, he could have nothing to do with it, or he could lose. Because he goes out with the Dodgers winning 2-1, but 2 men his responsibility, McLeod and Conrad. So it'll be up to Troncoso facing Prado and then Infante. And of course, sitting in the Atlanta dugout, Tommy Hanson. He could lose, have nothing to do with it, or even win. Prado popped up, singled, and grounded out. Nobody out. He bunts in the air, foul, no chance against the screen. 0-1. Bobby's team leads the league in sacrifices. And in this kind of a spot, 2 on, nobody out. The only surprise is you have the league's leading hitter up there, and he tried to sacrifice. 0-1. Try it again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Prado has sacrificed twice, and Brian Snitzer may or may not be hanging out the sign. McLeod at second, Conrad at first, nobody out. 2-1 Dodgers. Now remember, the Dodger bullpen has been magnificent. 22 in the 3rd innings without allowing a run. Bunt is on, bunt is down. Loney has to look and then throw to first. So the sacrifice works. It's been working for the Braves all year. Now they have runners at second and third with 1 out. And Omar Infante coming up, and Prado gets 5s in the dugout. Infante struck out, flied to left, and singled to center. He's hitting .301 with 1 home run, 11 runs batted in. Infante and Troncoso have not gone head-to-head in the past. So meanwhile, watching is Billingsley. Got a lot at stake here. In the dirt, nice save by Martin. Billingsley, remember, not only has won 4 straight, but the Dodgers have won the 5 straight that he has started. And he certainly kept them in the game tonight. They kept getting base hits, but nothing else. And the same story for Tommy Hanson. He gave up a bunch of hits. It's 2 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 7 hits for the Braves. Line drive base hit. The scoring is McLeod, and right behind him comes Conrad. And so the Braves have turned it around and taken a 3-2 lead. Infante all over that pitch. Line drive, clean as a whistle, single to left. And 2 RBIs.
Jason Hayward.
Coming into this game, we should have known Infante is that tough a hitter, because Infante, with runners in scoring position, was hitting .344. So now he gives Hanson a chance for a win, and Billingsley no chance for a win, only if he's lucky enough to get off the hook. And here is Hayward. Jason Hayward, pretty quiet. He did have a base hit in the 3rd inning. One ball and 1 strike. When you look at Hayward, besides the fact that he's tall and all that stuff, he wears number 22. And there's a story behind that. Double deuces. And that's ball 2. He selected number 22 to honor the memory of a former high school teammate who played on the high school state championship team with him and who was killed in a car accident. His name was Andrew Millot, and he wears it for Andrew. Ball 3. Now, with his power, Bobby might certainly green light him. Get Brian McCann on deck. So Troncoso has to be very, very careful here. Down in the bullpen, Belisario loosens up. Not a good pitch to drive. He took it for a strike at the knees, outside corner. 3-1. Infante at first. Only one out on the bunt. 3-2 Atlanta. Way off. Ball 4. So Troncoso has had a sacrifice innings of a base hit and a walk, and Rick Honeycutt going out to try and help. Brian McCann will be coming up. For Troncoso, inheriting a very tough spot, 3 consecutive singles, then the sacrifice, and then a very successful hitter with runners in scoring position. So for Chad Billingsley, sail through 6, shut out the Braves, and then 3 consecutive singles in the 7th, and all of a sudden he is faced with the thought of being the losing pitcher. He came in with a record of 6-2, a 4-game winning streak. He was 1-2 lifetime against Atlanta. So here's McCann, walked, hit into a force play, and struck out. McCann is 2 for 3 in the past against Troncoso. So that spells trouble. He has Infante at second, Hayward at first. That evens it up, 1-1. So the bottom 3 in the Braves lineup had 4 hits. Whoa, what a swing. 1-2. Brian really let out on that thing. It was a curveball, and he almost came out of his shoes. In fact, lucky he didn't hit Martin on top of the head. 1-2 to Brian. At second base, Infante. At first, Hayward. High fly ball to left field and deep. Back goes Manny to the track at the gate. It's going to be off the wall. Makes a nice play, but 2 runs are heading for the plate. The late throw is not in time to get Hayward. All the way to third goes McCann, and it's 5-2 Braves. Manny made a good one-handed grab of the ball as it came off the wall. And McCann winds up at third. So the Braves have hung a high 5 here in the 7th inning. Manny took his eye off the ball, jammed on the brakes, and when it hit, it almost went out by inches. Then he has to go after it to grab it and get it back to the infield. So Troncoso doesn't quite have it tonight. He comes in, gives up a single, a walk, and a triple. The Braves score 5 and lead the Dodgers 5-2.
Your pitcher, please. That pitcher for the Dodgers, number 54, Ronald Belisario.
Hansen, 110 for Chad. 3 earned runs racked up against Billingsley, 2 against Hansen. Ramon Troncoso had trouble holding the fort, so now they give the ball to Ronald Belisario. He had 3 singles, a sacrifice, then a single, a walk. McCann is given a double, drives in 2 and takes third on the throw. And Belisario now goes head-to-head with Troy Gloss. With 1 out, the infield is maybe halfway on the right side, and that's it. Right. The only Atlanta Brave that Belisario has faced is the former Dodger catcher David Ross. So McCann at third. 1-1. Last night, you may remember, Clayton Kershaw ran into trouble in the 7th inning, had to come out after 110. So this is, as Yogi might say, deja vu all over again. 2-1. So Billingsley has to be a little discouraged right now. Last night, the Dodgers came back to win at 5-4. 2-1. 2-2. Game 3 of a 4-game series. Game 3 of an overall 8-game series with the Braves. 4 in August in Atlanta. That'll be a tough trip. Philadelphia and Atlanta. Ball 3. Gloss, the 8th man to come to the plate. Escobar singled, McLeod singled, Conrad off the bench singled for a run, Prado sacrificed, Infante singled for 2, Hayward walked, and McCann doubled in a couple. That's popped up around the plate. Martin coming back. It's on the other side. Three and 2 the count. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Braves. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Dodgers. Big 5 up there on the board. Troy with 10 home runs, 42 runs batted in, hitting .274. Outfield deep straight away. Fastball lifted down the right field line. Tagging up is McCann. Ether sliding attempt, but no catch. I'll make sure he's all right. And he's not quite all right. That, of course, would have been an easy run had he caught the ball. Giving it a backhanded try as he slid, bangs into the wall. McCann had tagged up so he could have walked in. But Andre unable. And we crank it up again, 3 and 2. There's padding, but the very base of the wall is concrete, so it hurts. And you look at that right hand, and of course, that's the small pinky finger that was damaged. And that's whacked. Kemp going back on the track at the wall, leaps up and can't make the play. Troy Gloss hits it out. It was a 7-run 7th, and the Braves have broken it wide open 7-2. For Gloss, his 11th home run, and he does it with McCann aboard. So Belisario comes in. He is charged with 1 run. Troncoso is charged with 1. And Gloss just got all of that. Kemp trying to give it his best shot. Couldn't do it. So 8 men have come to the plate and 7 of them has scored. The only out was the sacrifice by Prado. 35 RBIs in his last 33 games. He just tore up the league all the month of May. 0-2 the count to Eric Hinsky. So Troy Gloss still has the knock. 0-2. And that's going to be hit into right field for a base hit. So after all of those great innings where the bullpen was dynamite, they finally hit a bump in the road as Glenn Hubbard welcomes Hinsky. Still only one out, and the 10th man in the inning, Yunel Escobar, coming up. It also means everyone in the Braves lineup has at least one hit. So they just exploded here. And it shows you how well Billingsley pitched for 6 innings to keep this club quiet. But they have jumped all over, and they hang a 7. So now Honeycutt going out to Belisario before he pitches to Escobar. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Charlie Hager will knuckle down. The meeting out on the mound might be just to consume a little time and get Hager ready. 7 runs, 11 hits. So Billingsley had allowed 4 hits and no runs for 6 innings. And Chicken Little, the sky is falling here in the 7th. 7-2 Atlanta. So Escobar, who opened up the inning with a base hit, checks in with Hinsky at first and a strike. Most runs in an inning for Atlanta. They had 7 against Cincinnati, so it's the second time this year they've had 7. One ball and 1 strike. Most runs for Atlanta in a game. They had 16 against the Cubs. 1-1. Ground ball to Furcal. The quick feed to DeWitt. He'll turn it. The inning is over. The question is, has the game just ended? At the end of 6 1/2, it is 7-2 Atlanta. And the crowd will sing God Bless America and then take me out to the ball game.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and
And a couple of changes for the Braves. First of all, Melky Cabrera comes in, and I believe he's going to bat ninth. And they would then put Johnny Venters in Eric Hinsky's spot. One pitch, one note, Johnny Venters. Remember, he came in, made one pitch in the first game, struck out Martin in the ninth inning, and picked up the save. A one-pitch save. Doesn't get much better than that. Venters is from Pikeville, Kentucky, the same town that produced Mark Reynolds. Arizona D-backs. That's a strike, 1-1. So if you're keeping score, put Cabrera batting ninth. And put Venters in Hinsky's spot. Off the plate, ball 2. Rafael Furcal single to right, struck out, grounded out. Fastball, line to left field for a base hit. So Rafael trying to lead the way with a single to left.
The Dodgers number 27, center fielder, Matt Kemp.
And Matt Kemp coming up. Johnny Venters has an earned run average of 1.2 in 17 games. He's just been dynamite. Here's Matt Kemp. Hit into a double play, tripled and scored a run, and flied to right. Fastball strike. Venters isn't quite as big as Hansen, but he's big enough. Hansen was 6'6". Venters is 6'3", 195. Went to Indian River Community College in Florida. 0-2. There's a good fastball. He's gotten it to 94, plus slider, curve, and change. Rated as a very aggressive left-hander. Johnny is 25 years old. He had Tommy John surgery 4 years ago. Ball 1. That first name Johnny, there is no H. Jonny. 1-2. Off speed, 2-2. And that'll do it for Matt Kemp. One away. You know, talking about Venters having Tommy John surgery, Dr. James Andrews, Birmingham, Alabama orthopedic surgeon, has certainly performed a lot of operations. And his recommendation is for kids 17 to 18, no more than 105 pitches. If you're 13 to 16, no more than 95. In the end of April and May, Dr. Andrews did 36 Tommy John procedures. 36. And most of them were high school kids. And as the doctor said, that's unbelievable. That's a major operation. And we're seeing more of that type in high school than we do in the pros or college. It used to be just the opposite. Ground ball, foul ball. So if you have anything to do with amateur baseball at the very young level, the recommendation is for pitchers 7 to 8 years old, only 50 pitches, 9 to 10, 75 pitches, 11 to 12, 85, 13 to 16, 95. No more than that. Just off the plate. Well, that's a tragedy to have so many high school kids having the Tommy John surgery. Ethier walked, had a scoring fly ball, walked again, and stole a base. Waved at, badly fooled on the slider. He was way out in front of it. So Venters gives up a single for call and then proceeds to strike out Kemp and Ethier. And the batter is Manny Ramirez. Manny singled in the first inning, doubled to right in the third, struck out in the fifth, called out, hitting .284, 4 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Fastball down, ball 1. He hit 95 on the gun. Johnny Venters picking up for Tommy Hanson. Ground foul, 1-1. Another fastball down. One ball and 1 strike. In the dirt, goes to the backstop, down to second, goes for call. So it figures to be a wild pitch. Down and dirty. McCann came up with a mitt full of empty. And down to second goes for call. 7-11 for the Braves. 2-9 for the Dodgers. Venters' second wild pitch. Off the plate. Another fastball. 3-1 to count. James Loney on deck. 2 out. Runner at second. 7-2 Braves. 7th inning. And that's a strike. Little slider. 3-2. Fastball. Still 3-2. I think he's thrown him one slider. Everything else heat. Johnny Venters. Fastball. So it's a steady diet of them, and that's 95. It's about as hard as Venters can possibly throw. .6'3", 195, and only 25. Aren't too many left-handers who hit 95. Johnny Venters and Hung Chi Kuo, sure, but not many others. Fastball, gloved by Venters. Boy, was there ever a steady diet, one fastball after another outside of that one slider. No runs, one hit, a man left. At the end of 7, it's 7-2 Braves. And they did it with a bunch of base hits. Escobar, McLeod, the pinch hitter Conrad. Then after a sacrifice, Infante, a key base hit. After that, a double by McCann off the wall in left. Troy Gloss also came up and hit one out of sight. Great effort by Kemp, but he came up empty. And the hit parade continued. It was 7 runs, 7 hits. And the Braves broke open with a vengeance to lead 7-2. So now in the 8th inning, Nate McLeod, who singled in the 7th inning, will start it off. The Braves trying to win and maintain a 2-game lead over Philadelphia without Takashi Saito. That glimpse in the dugout just a moment ago, Takashi at the far end of the dugout hurt his hamstring, and it could very well be, they're saying, they might lose him for 2 weeks. There he is. And according to Bobby Cox, he has been absolutely dynamite. 40-year-old Saito, the former Dodger, but hurt his leg here pitching, and they'll probably lose his services for a couple of weeks. So into the 8th inning, and Charlie Hager with knuckleballs, and he's ball 1 to McLeod. McLeod singled and eventually scored in the 7th inning. In there. The Dodgers have had ample opportunities to break the game open, especially in the early going. They scored 1 run in the 2nd and 1 run in the 3rd, but they're 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And in the series, they're 4 for 21. So I think whatever happened to the Arizona Diamondbacks rubbed off on the Dodgers. 2-2 the count to Nate McLeod. He'll be followed by Melky Cabrera and then Martin Prado. 3-2. One knuckleball after another with an occasional fastball. Tomorrow, Tim Hudson with a record of 6-1. John Eli with a record of 3-2. And that fastball wasn't even close, so ball 4. Melky Cabrera came in to finish up in left field for Eric Hinsky and bats 9th. Melky is from the Dominican and was originally signed by the Yankees 9 years ago. Cabrera first came up to the big leagues in 2005. Knuckle, strike. 0-1. Cabrera last year for the Yankees had a good year. He had 274, 13 home runs, 68 runs batted in. Knuckleball fouled away. 0-2. Cabrera caught fire with the bat, but you can imagine he was off to a slow start, because if he caught fire, he's now hitting only 230. Knuckleball gets him. So a walk followed by a strikeout. The dancer, as Jim Gilliam called it. We're in the 8th, 7-2 Atlanta. Billingsley, Troncoso, Belisario, and now Hager. Ball 1 to Prado, hitting .321. Martin popped up in the first inning, single to center, grounded to short, and sacrificed. Big play in the 7th inning. A Braves specialty. Two and 0 with the knuckler. Fastball, strike, 2-1. The paid attendance tonight, and some folks have bailed out now on that 7-run inning, but the paid attendance 48,207. 48,207. Ball 3. Hope you'll make your plans and be with us tomorrow afternoon. Tim Hudson and John Eli, and then the Cardinals Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. Another fastball foul back out of play. Charlie's fastball is about 85. His knuckleball is around 70, 71. Three and 2 to Prado with Infante on deck. There goes the runner, and it's fouled away. McLeod had a pretty good jump, and of course that is just one of the weaknesses of a knuckleball pitcher. The base runners can take advantage. First, the time the pitch takes to get up there. Then the questionable, can the catcher catch it, and then can he throw it? Well, they were running McLeod. By the way, timeout for the moment. Looks like Prado. Well, let's just wait and see. He hurt himself. He hurt his left hand, which as a right-handed batter is the bottom hand. Checking the wrist. Boy, they could ill afford to lose him, hitting .321, leading the league. Bobby Cox up there talking and watching. Prado assures him he's okay. McLeod at first has stolen 4 bases, and Prado apparently okay. Not quite okay. Well, let's see now, after all that talk and everything, what kind of a pitch he gets. Knuckleball or fastball, figuring that left hand is still sore. There goes the runner. Fastball hit in the air to right center and playable. Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier, and the ball lands between them. So a missed connection out there. Should have been caught easily. one of those Alphonse and Gaston, after you, no, after you. But really, it's Kemp's responsibility as the captain. You would expect him to go over and call it. So the mix-up in the outfield, and that's a base hit for Martin Prado. He'll take it, sore hand or no. And the batter now, Omar Infante, hitting .307. One ball and no strikes. So McLeod at second, Prado at first. Infante has two singles in the fifth and in that riotous seventh. His base hit in the seventh inning drove in two, McLeod and Conrad. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Braves, 2 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. 3-0. It's been Billingsley, Troncoso, Belisario, and now Hager. Troncoso was really lit up. They scored 4 against him. Whoops. Almost hit Infante. And apparently it did. So the bases are loaded with 1 out. And the batter will be Jason Hayward. Hayward, who had struck out 5 times last night, today popped up, singled, grounded out, and walked. Knuckleball. 0-1. Hayward hitting .275, 10 home runs, 38 runs batted in. He's been hitting at least .270 against both left and right. One and one. You have McLeod at third, Prado at second, Infante at first, and the Braves lead 7-2. So the knuckleball gets him, and down goes Hayward, striking out the first time tonight.
Catcher, number 16, Brian McCann.
For Hayward, he has struck out 43 times. Troy Gloss has struck out 45. So here's Brian McCann. He had the key double, almost a home run. The ball hit about 6 inches from the top of the box seats alongside the Dodger bullpen, just beyond the D in Mannywood. Fouled away, 1-1. So Brian, 5 home runs, 20 runs batted in. No doubt talking about the knuckleball and the movement. 1-1. Bases still loaded, 2 out. 2-1. Charlie Hager out of Livonia, Michigan. Lives in Plymouth. Ball 3. He was originally signed by the White Sox back in 2001 and came up in 06, 07. He was with the Padres in 08 and with the Dodgers. Fastball, and that's hit into the gap. So you fall behind 3-1. The bases are loaded. The hitters are just looking fastball. And McCann singles to drive in 2, and it's a runaway horse as the Braves lead 9-2. For McCann, he picks up 4 runs batted in.
First baseman, number 25, Troy Glass.
So everybody in the lineup has a hit, and only Eric Hinsky in his spot did not score. And that's hit to the gap in right center. It's slicing, and Ethier will make the catch. Not exactly room service, but it did come to him, kind of. So add 2, and the Braves lead 9-2. And as we told you, coming into this game, they were going right down to the wire because Joe Torre had won 69 times and Bobby Cox going head-to-head won 68. Well, it looks like Bobby's certainly going to tie up that individual battle tonight with the Braves leading 9-2. So tomorrow, each manager with 69 victories against the other. Well, just another interesting aspect of this series. Peter Moylan, the pride of Australia, coming in. Moylan, who was born in Perth, said that he went to Sydney, but it was too much for him. He lives in a smaller town, Vermont, in Australia. Originally signed by the Twins. Interesting how things work. His dad came to the United States looking for work, watched the Astros in the Astrodome, fell in love with the game, went back to Australia, started to play, and then his son followed him to learn the game. For Peter Moylan last year, he pitched in 87 games. That was second in the major leagues, and he didn't allow a home run. That's a foul ball. So for the young fella from Australia, a major league record for most games in a season without allowing a home run. Well, for the Dodgers, Jonathan Broxton has yet to give up a home run, but I certainly don't expect to see Jonathan Broxton in 87 games. 2-1 to count to James Loney. James struck out, hit by a pitch on the foot, and grounded out 0 for 1, hitting .284. Ground ball wide. On it easily is Infante to get him. One away. That'll bring up Russell Martin. Single to right, fouled out to right, grounded to third. Tim Hudson is 6-1. John Eli 3-2. They'll go head-to-head tomorrow. Martin batting .245. Ball one. Moylan wearing the long sleeves. His arms are heavily tattooed. And strike, kind of that sidearm fastball. Peter said that his mother was coaching her softball team in Sydney. Went down to watch. Eventually watching his wife Tracy, eventually married. His favorite ball player down in Australia is Nolan Ryan. He's 6'2" and 210. He was even bigger than that before 2008. A little roller, foul ball. Peter said the easiest way for him to lose weight, he would bike about 5 miles to the ocean, catch his breath, enter the water, swim as far as he possibly could, then come back and bike home. 1-2. Big breaker off the plate. A slider that really ran away. He's got his fastball, slider, and a change. Slider fouled away. Interesting what ball players will do. Former Braves reliever Gene Garber was helping Moylan throw his changeup, and he threw a couple that were dandies. And one of the players said, well, if it's any good, you ought to give the changeup a name. Down goes Martin. Jesse Chavez, a fellow reliever, said, why don't you just call it Dave? So Peter Moylan's changeup is called Dave. He's got 2 out in the 8th inning. And here's Jamie Carroll. 9-2 Braves, so the Dodgers blow a big opportunity. And barring a miracle, they will lose and remain a half a game behind San Diego. Carroll hit into a double play, hit into a force play, and single. Ball one. The pitchers of record, Billingsley to lose and Hansen to get a win. 1 ball and no strikes. In there. Bottom of the 8th. 9 runs, 13 hits for Atlanta. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. One ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. Fastball hit down the line, slicing, however, foul, and back in and out of the seats. 48,207 we're here at the beginning. And hope maybe you'll be with us to spend part of Sunday here with Hudson and Eli. 4th game of the series and the 4th of 8, with 4 coming up in August in Atlanta. 2-2. Braves have an even better record at home than the Dodgers do. The Dodgers will be 19-10 at home. The Braves are 19-6. 3-2. Sling it in there. Down goes Carroll. Dodgers done in the 8th. And at the end of 8, Braves 9, Dodgers 2. In that 7th inning, he unloaded the deepest left center. Matt Kemp tried to climb the wall and just could not get to it. Not even close. So Gloss with 11 home runs, and the Braves breathe 9-2 as Troy sits back and takes it easy. Gregor Blanco from Venezuela will hit now for Moylan. Ball 1. Blanco, 5'11", 175. He'll be 27 the middle of December, from Caracas. He started playing, believe it or not, playing organized baseball at the age of 4. And understandably, he lost interest in the game when he fell in love at the tender age of 14 with a girl who played softball. 1-2, fouled away. I mean, you want to start about starting early at the age of 4, playing organized baseball. One ball and 2 strikes to Blanco. And he fists one into right field, base hit. So Blanco off the bench. He is now 2 for 2 in the big leagues. And the batter will be Escobar. Charlie Hager has given up 3 hits and 2 runs. Escobar walked, singled twice, hit into a double play. Batting .247. 1 ball and no strikes. Take your pick, knuckleball or fastball. When he was behind 3-1, he came fastball, and he tries to come with a fastball, but he wasn't close. 3-0. Charlie, remember, went down with a foot problem. That's in there. 3-1. So he threw a fastball 2-0 and missed. He threw a fastball 3-0 and got a strike. So if you're the hitter, you're looking fastball, I guess. Yep. And it's fouled away. Escobar a little late. Fastball. Got him. So Escobar just decides, okay, I'll take a walk back to the dugout.
Center fielder, number 24, Nate McLeod.
So 1 out. 3 strikeouts for Hager. And here's Nate McLeod. Fly ball, shallow center. Kemp moving in for it. 2 out in the 9th inning. And the batter will be Melky Cabrera. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th, they'll have DeWitt, the pitcher spot, and Furcal. Cabrera hitting .229. Hard ground ball. DeWitt smothers, feeds Furcal just ahead. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and at the end of 8.5 innings, 9-2 Georgia. It'll be Blake DeWitt, Garrett Anderson, and Rafael Furcal against Craig Kimbrell, who was just called up when Takashi Saito went on the DL. Kimbrell out of Huntsville, Alabama, went to Wallace State College, 5'11", 205-pounder. Just turned 22. He was selected by the Braves in the 33rd round, but didn't sign. And that was smart. A year later, the Braves signed him in the 3rd round. Fastball, slider, changeup. Last year, he was the Braves organization pitcher of the year. Facing Blake DeWitt. Ball 1. 5'11", 205. DeWitt, meanwhile, hitting .260, is 1 for 3, single, fly to center, and struck out. You notice that Kimbrell does not wind up. He got a suggestion from Atlanta closer Billy Wagner, so he dropped the windup. By pitching from the windup, even with the bases empty, he keeps the same rhythm because he knows in relief he's going to be pitching out of his stretch a lot anyway, and it helps him be a little more consistent. And a drive to right center. Hayward on the dead run, but he can't get it. Plays it off the wall. Into second with a double. Goes Blake DeWitt. Interesting where the Braves scored 7 runs tonight in the 7th inning to turn the game completely around. Earlier this year, May the 20th, Kimbrel came in relief, pitched a scoreless 9th inning, and earned his first Major League victory because the Braves rallied from a 7-run deficit with a walk-off grand slam, and they beat the Reds 10-9. So he gives up a double, but he's got a lot of room. And now Anderson. Ball 1. We mentioned it when James Loney was hit on the foot. We talked about how the fact that was the first time Loney had been hit by a pitch since August of 2008. And then we mentioned he ought to talk to Garrett Anderson and get some advice about how not to get hit by a pitch. The reason we said that, Garrett Anderson has been hit 9 times in almost 2,200 games and over 9,000 plate appearances. 9. He wears the number. You never forget. In there. 1-2 to Garrett. He has a home run. 8 runs batted in. 9 runs, 14 hits for the Braves. 2 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers. They tried to make a 2-0 lead stand up. That was a half swing strike 3, but the pitch gets away, and Anderson is safely aboard. And McCann just couldn't pick it up. So over to third goes DeWitt. Watch McCann now. It's in the dirt, goes right between his legs. And now watch him try to pick it up. Nope. Nope. Wait a minute. Yeah. So on the wild pitch, Anderson walks. Dodgers at first and third. And the batter will be Raphael for a call. Taken all the way for a strike. 9-2 Braves, 9th inning. Dodgers first and third, nobody out. For call, single, struck out, grounded out, singled again. 2 for 4. 0-2. Craig Kimbrel. Lightning quick right on. One and 2. Back. Throwing right around the very high 80s to 90. Years old, pitching in the big leagues. Of course, Clayton Kershaw at 22. Jason Howard out there in right field. Hayward is 20. High bouncer to the hole. And no play as DeWitt scores and then makes it 9-3 Braves. Escobar just had nowhere to throw it. So an infield single for call. That would be his third hit. And a run batted in. So now Matt Kemp and Roger McDowell going out to the mound. Roger, from everything we hear, has done a great job as the Atlanta pitching coach. Of course, he was very knowledgeable in his days with the Mets and with the Dodgers. Roger the Dodger, 1991 through 94. Solid as a rock. Amazing, too. 5 years now as a pitching coach for the Braves. Matt Kemp checking in with 2 on. Nobody out. 9-3 Braves. Billy Wagner gets up down in the Atlanta bullpen. Ball 1. Wagner and Broxton, that would be a terrific head-on battle. Matt Kemp hit into a double play, tripled, flied to right, struck out, 1 for 4. Scored a run. Two and 0 the count to Matt. On deck, Andre Ethier. Two and 1. In the inning, DeWitt doubled. Anderson walked. Verkalzen field single. Scored DeWitt. Ball 3. Foul ball off first and out of play. The Dodgers had the left-hand hitting Ethier, the left-hand hitting Loney. In between they have Ramirez. So you wonder if Kemp does anything at all against Kimbrel, whether they would bring in the left-hand pitching Wagner to go after Ethier. 3-2. 2 on, nobody out. 9-3 Braves. Well, the Braves pulled one out with a 7-run inning against Cincinnati. 3-2. Got him. Good fastball, and he takes care of Kemp. So Matt strikes out a second time.
Right fielder, number 16, Andre Ethier.
Andre Ethier coming up. Ethier has walked. He had a sacrifice fly. He walked again and stole a base and struck out. So he's just 0 for 1 tonight. Hitting .361. 11 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Ball 1. On deck, Manny Ramirez. We're in the bottom of the 9th. 9 runs, 14 hits for the Braves. 3 runs, 11 hits for the Dodgers. And that's flared to left. Coming in for it is Cabrera. So a little fly ball to left, 2 down. And the batter will be Manny Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez.
Anderson at second, Paul at first. Manny tonight, single to center, double to right, struck out, and hit back to the box. Manny with his foot in the door. The Braves trying to turn out the lights. And their final game of the series tomorrow. Tim Hudson and John Eli. Fastball away. Anderson at second for call at first. 2 away. Two and 0. On deck, James Loney. The Phillies beat the Padres. If this score stays anywhere the way it is, Braves would remain 2 in front of Philadelphia. The Dodgers would remain a half a game behind the Padres. Fouled away, out of play. The Giants began the day 2.5 games back of San Diego. Two balls and 1 strike to Manny. Fastball. In talking about the Giants, who began the day 2.5 games out of first place, they had a little 2-game winning streak, but Pittsburgh beat him today 6-3, so they're not a factor either. So Blake DeWitt, Jamie Carroll, watching Ramirez. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 1 in, 9-3 Braves. Got him. Absolutely. A little slider. Got the inside corner. Manny strikes out a second time. 1 run for the Dodgers, 2 hits, and they lead 2. And that's it. 9-14-0 for the Braves. 3-11-0 for the Dodgers. The winner is Tommy Hanson, and the loser would be Chad Billingsley. The Dodgers are half a game back of the Padres, and the Braves remain 2 games in front of Philadelphia. Hudson and Eli tomorrow at 1, the final game of the series. A reminder, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up.